If this platform is very similar to Jira?
To Jira, yeah, I have a video.
Okay.
You
So
want to know about Jira, right?
yeah. So
How
this
to?
like a Pega, it's a same idea as a Jira. Is that what it
No,
is?
no. Jira is like for creating user stories. So there's a documentation tool. This is coding platform. What your
Oh,
developers will code.
okay.
Your developer will use coding, right? Something to code. So they will use this application to code.
So basically here you can see if your user stories are approved or not. Something
No,
like
no,
that.
no. User stories approval all will be in Jira. This is actual application, that mobile application you're creating, the app that you're creating.
Okay.
So I'll tell
Yeah,
you how.
I see here somewhere it says approved gross deposit, like different signs and
Yeah, you are creating a case life cycle. So let me tell you how this. Um, so usually some of the coding languages are what? They're .NET, Java, Pega, or Salesforce. These are some of the coding languages, right? So, but I have taken it as Pega. Pega is like one of the latest like technologies for code. It's basically like you're not doing it from scratch. It is Java only, but it is advanced Java. So basically, if you prompt Java to, I mean, from this Pega application to do, it is going to create a workflow for you. So for example, you'll have like 4 different like studios here. You're going to have App Studio, Dev Studio, Admin Studio, and Production Studio. Dev Studio is for developers. App Studio is for BA. So BA, what they will do is like, for example, if the application is like mobile check deposit, so what's the case life cycle that I have to create? Okay. So for example, have a case type. It's very slow. So okay. So what you have to tell is like you're not coding anything. You're just telling the the developer that this is the data flow. So what's the data flow? First one is like I'm going to create something. Let's say that check deposit. So I go to case type and I'm going to do check deposit. Okay. Or let's say that I already create mobile check deposit. Let's say mm, check phone check deposit. Let me give like that. Let's see whether it's able to. So I just give phone check deposit. I'm creating a case type and I'm doing the autopilot. So Pega is going to like give me the uh, data flow. So if you just in 2 minutes, it's going to tell me like for this particular validation, what are the things necessary? What are the fields technically? What all is necessary? For example, if you see here for the phone check deposit, first we need to capture the information, we need to process, we need to review. These are the validations, these are the error handling situations, and then what are we going to do? For resolve it, right? So next, I click on next. It's all AI generated content. So you're not developing it. You have to understand the developer is going to develop it, but you are just describing the data flow for him. Technically, you're telling what are the things that he need to validate. For example, we need to have a deposit ID, we need to have an account number, deposit amount, date, time, depositor name, phone, email address, bank address, bank branch name, check image, deposit status, remarks, customer transaction details. Or if you want, like let's say that if your business owner is saying that I want this particular, for example, signature is mandatory, we need to capture that signature. That also you will add it here. What's the type? Okay, whether it's going to be text or it's going to be something time format or it's going to be any other different format. So automatically it's going to give you that particular type, data type. Then you're going to like submit. So you submit. If you see here, it is going to give you that a complete data flow in the backend validation, what all the system has to validate.
Radhika, for those like a name type and ID, for
Mhm.
those like items, it's like the Pega, the platform like automatically generated, or we just like make it.
We want the platform. So from the OCR, right? They have to capture all these. We are giving keywords.
Oh, okay.
Like when they scan, what is that? Suppose that OCR application, right? What are the keywords it's looking for?
Okay, so those are like a deposit ID, account number. Those are like we as a VA created.
Correct. So from OCR, it needs to extract. I told you OCR is a different software, and this is a final like backend software that actual everything is getting processed. See here, when a customer is seeing only the phone, right? So he's submitting through phone. Okay, but where those details are in the backend, right? Where it's going and sitting and where it's getting actually stored. How can from the banking team, right? From mobile application team, where they'll be able to see all this data. This is a backend application, internal application only to banking. This is not member facing. So when they click something, submit, the details will come to Pega and a case will be created here. So I will tell you for you to understand that you need to know in front end how it's happening, in back end how it's happening. So for example, we are going to collect all applicants information. We are going to do all this like validation. And then these are some of the checks that we have. Okay. So how data flow now, you need to understand what's the data flow. Data flow is from the front end. Okay. From a front end perspective, they are downloading an app, right? They're downloading an app. They are able to like log in and they're able to scan the check, right? Once they scan and click on submit, the details needs to come to this application, the Pega application in the backend, and the case needs to be created here. We call it as case, okay? Case. So each transaction will be a case in the backend. You got it?
Yes, yes.
For the user in the front end, it will be like submitted and they'll get maybe an ID, deposit ID or something. Okay. But in the back end, this is the actual like mobile application that our developer will be like developing. So in production, right, when they submit something, right, here a case will be created.
So basically, we just take information from those front end applications, just
Correct.
the input.
Correct. Mm.
And then everything happens at the back end.
Back end,
So
right.
This is the back end. Oh, okay,
Back end.
okay.
So when we say like 1 to 3 business days, so here actually during that validation, if something happens, you will have internally bank employee associate, right? They only will be having access to this Pega. So they will log in, they'll have different queues and they will like, maybe they will accept or reject depending upon the validation. So nothing is like 50% is automated, but 50% is still manual.
So in Pega application, like when you use case types, so you put, for example, if there is a mortgage application, right? What I told you last time. So
Correct.
if I just add that information, it will create by itself the backend flow.
No, you are just telling the backend for this is like a wireframe. Okay, you are just drawing and thing and showing this is how it needs to go. But he has to go to the dev studio and he will create the actual app for you.
No, that I understood. I'm sorry for my confused question. So you added a mobile check deposit.
Right. You want to add another case type, something like different. What is the process you're talking?
Yeah. Another case type, yes.
Yeah, you can do any. I mean, this is common to banking, healthcare, anything you can do, authorizations, anything. So if you do, what is that
So
case
it
type
is basically API integration into mortgage application.
Mortgage.
So third-party API integration into mortgage application.
Okay, my loan approval, right? Mortgage loan approvals. Let's see. So it's going to collect your information, review the credit history, going to get property details. You're going to assess for loan eligibility and then validate incoming documents. And then, so when we say assess loan eligibility, that's when you are going to like integrate with other teams, no, for getting all this credit scores.
Yeah.
So yeah, so one of the validation, then the developer has to like make sure that he's calling an API in the backend then. So from your side as a BA, what you're telling is this is the process, like this is the flow. So first you need to get the information, basic information, first name, last name, SSN. Then you have to get his credit history. Then you're going to get the property details. Then you're going to like check for his loan eligibility, then his income documents. Then you're going to verify all his employment. Then you're going to, if everything is approved, then the third is like approval, right? Once it is approved, what is the loan amount? What are the legal documents like this? So once, if it's going to be closed, then what is mandatory? Maybe you have to sign the loan agreement. So you are not developing the actual application. You have to understand. So in Pega, just like if you create a case type, doesn't mean that you are actually creating an application. You're just telling the developer. So these are the 4 different like data flows that we are having. So for credit, you have to review the credit history. That's one module. So for that, you need to like integrate with the API. So, but you can maybe schedule a call with the third party team API, like between your team and the other team, right? Whichever API you're going to use them. So you're going to schedule a call, talk to them, get the information, and then your developer is going to do the development accordingly. You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But here, it just like for him to understand, because he's coding in this platform, for him to understand, you're just creating like a basic data flow. What are the necessary fields it's going to have? And you can always like delete. If you want to delete something, see here, I can delete it here. If I want to add the field, I can add. That's all. So that's how like from front end to back end, this is how you need to know if they're submitting a loan, for example, like what Ali told was the loan, right? Let's say that.
From the previous screen, and I see there's a different color of the item, as some of a green, some of a blue. Does that mean like who is responsible for that task, or what's the
Which one is blue?
The
This
previous,
one?
no, the previous one, like the process flow.
This
See,
one. Okay, let me finish.
Yeah, here. So it's a green, blue, and the yellow. And what is that? I mean, like the green is for like somebody is responsible for that, or?
Yes. So some are like locked and some are like it's so if you want to make it like, let me take the options. So you're asking about these things, right? Edit case-wide actions here. So these are some of like the actions that you're going to include. So this is like collect information. If there's something in green color, means you're going to collect information. So you're going to have inside a process or a multi-step form. That's the meaning of green. Like the cylinder, right? What you're talking?
Yes.
Yeah. It means like you're going to ask for additional details. If it's blue, means like it's already done. Just they have to, like, for example, signing here. This one, right? So notify means it's a message, right? Yellow color.
Oh, it's basically simply the icons which shows what exactly that process is for.
Correct. So if it's going to be like you're going to collect, means it's multi-step. Inside that multi-step is there. You're going to collect more details. You understood?
Yes.
Okay. So for example, so if collection means what are the additional information you're going to collect. So you can edit details, add, or you can remove details. So that is green. Blue means like single line validation, signing, or maybe like just one line and no additional information. So for yellow means that is a message. So they have to get that message. So what Ali was talking is about this loans. So let's say that so from a front end, right, they're applying for loan. Okay, so I want to buy a home. Okay, I have a contract. I'm ready to apply. Yes. So we're going to log in here and they're going to like submit the application. So when they submit the application, there are a few things this Bank of America is going to ask, right? So it's going to ask their first name, last name. They're going to ask their SSN. Based upon that, they're going to like with a third party a team, this bank is going to check their credit card, or they have any other based upon the SSN, right? They'll be able to pull whether they have any other loans, if they have any kind of um, any pending like loans left, whether, and they'll able to get the whole history of that person based upon the SSN. So does in Canada do they have SSN, or it's a different ID?
We have a SIM card, like a SIN card.
Okay, yeah. So based upon that, right, one ID, they'll be able to like track complete like background check for the like from a financial perspective, whether they have done any, whether they have anything like fraud, or whether they've able to pay everything on time. Based upon that, they'll have a credit score. Depending upon the credit score, your interest rate, everything is going to change. So that's what he's asking. So for mortgage loan, so once, see, the app is able to give like a fair amount of like what kind of validations they're going to do. So first, if you are going to collect the application applicant's first name, last name, SSN number, and then based upon that, your PEG application is going to go to some third party credit, because credit scores are not given by bank, it's given by a third party entity. So you have to go and get their personal credit card. You means like the application, right? Through the API, they'll go in the backend and grab that score for you. Based upon the score and based upon all the existing like um, property also, whether you're going to buy for 500K or 1 million, whatever it is. So depending upon your credit score and all your background checks, it's going to give you whether you're eligible or not. And it's going to validate your current income, how long you're employed, your employment details, whether you are a full-timer or a part-time person, or you have additional incomes, whether you're doing any kind of business. So all this, like, it's going to like evaluate, then it's going to give you a like maximum amount that you'll be approved loan amount, right? For example, you will have something like your maximum is about $2 million, so it's going to tell the maximum you can purchase is like $2 million. It's going to review all your like your maybe SSN or pay slips, or here they ask you for pay slips also, so pay slips, your W2s, your employer details and everything. Then it's going to tell you like whether you are prepared for closing the document or not. So this is like you are telling the developer. So these are some of the checks and validations that the application has to do, and you're going to integrate with a third party system in the back end. So in the front end, if the customer, like if they submit something in a back end, the first thing is a case needs to be created, and then like after a case needs to be created, automatically it needs to like go and grab the credit score, and it needs to do something. Like few things are automated, not everything is automated, a few things are automated, but usually like towards the end, before the approval, right, there'll be a human intervention. They are not auto approving everything. Some things are auto approved. For example, like I said, if it's internal bank transactions, then it's approved. I mean, for mobile check deposit. But for mortgage loans and all, you will know, if you have already got a house, you would have known that usually a person is talking to you, right, Ali? A person is talking to you before you close the
Yeah.
house.
Yes.
They want to confirm,
But
right?
they will talk to me after the validation is done, right? I mean, once we provide all the information, they will evaluate basic information and then they'll come to me, or they'll come to me right away as soon as they get the information.
Correct. So um yeah, it depends upon like bank also, some, but usually like one of one, they're not going to auto approve you a 2 million loan, right? So you
Yeah,
have to
that's true.
understand. So
Yes.
that's there. So where that case will be created is for those agents, case managers, they log into Pega and they'll be able to see your case, because you are submitting here, but they need to log into some application. No, so they log into this application actually, and they will be they'll be in one of their queues. Your name will pop up, your details will pop up, so they'll review the documents manually based upon your credit score. They'll issue a letter, and then during buying the house, right, they'll be like working with you for signing all this. That's how front end and back end process. Front end, we are using this portal to submit, and in back end, right, in Pega application, we are creating a case, and we are coordinating with external systems and making sure we have all the information before we approve the loan. Got it, Ali?
Makes sense.
Any doubts?
Yeah, makes sense. No,
Okay.
that clears the.
full picture what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what you want in the interview to tell, right? This is where people get like lost. They don't know in the back end what's happening. They know only from a front end what's happening. Like from a user perspective, they will know, but in the back end, what's happening, how that how things are getting validated, what a developer from a developer perspective, what all he needs. From a business analyst perspective, what are the things technically you will guide him. Like those are the nuances, like details, specific details that the interviewer is expecting you to answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna install this and play with it.
Your voice is very low.
I mean, I'm going to use this application and try to add the projects that I have and see what I get.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what I'm telling you. Add these and then like explain the same thing what I'm telling to you. So I mean, he will have zero, zero. He will be like completely like convinced that you worked in IT. If you're going to say, because nobody knows unless someone is training you, nobody will know that like what is the front end, back end process and all. So if you tell that I worked in Pega, this is how I created all the case types. This is what I'm coordinating the developer for all this data navigation and all. And if you tell him like very specific details, then they are convinced, oh, this person's actually worked in a project. Okay, so I think we are good for today, and kudos to Lucia and Ali. Other people also, please submit your assignment, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.